Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. New Cowboys trade proposal of Dak misses 103 million key points. Which part of Dak Prescott's Dallas Cowboys contract do people who want to trade the quarterback not understand? The latest goofy rumor/media proposal has the Cleveland Browns taking on Dak as their replacement for the failed Deshaun Watson, who has his bloated contract and who recently retore his Achilles tendon and will most likely miss all of next season while rehabbing the injury. Dak to the Browns? Hey, he'd be the best QB they've had in almost forever. So along comes one Cleveland-based media outlet thinking this is a match. The idea there is based on a series of dominoes, while leaving out the two most important ones. 1. They have Deion Sanders being hired to coach Dallas. 2. They put Dak Prescott on the trade block and ship him to Cleveland. 3. They have Dallas plotting to draft Shedeur Sanders to play QB. 4. They have the two teams doing tricky stuff with contracts. Financially, the Cleveland Browns can make this work because they will turn each contract year into an option bonus and push the salary cap hits far out into the future, they write. Dak will likely need to agree to this change because it is unlikely the Cowboys have the contract language that is standard in Browns contracts. And now we're deep into the weeds. And completely lost. Where are the problems with the proposal? 1. Deion to Dallas? That will have to quickly morph from PR stunt, which it was, to reality, which in this never-say-never league is a remote possibility. 2. Dallas has no intention of trading Prescott, not even counting the fact that he has veto power over this and any other swap, and Dallas has $103.2 million reasons to stick with that intention. More on that below. 3. If Deion is here and Dak is gone, the Cowboys can shoot for Colorado QB Shedeur, we suppose. But the site is very vague about how Shoot 4 puts Shedeur in a Cowboys uniform. Is Dallas trading pick number 12 and Dak for pick number 2? It's hard to decipher whether that's the central point of the proposal. 4. On the subject of Cowboys contract language? The site is apparently referring to Cleveland creating a new contract with void years, but oops. Dak's deal already has those void years that go all the way through 2032. In the end, as with all these silly Dak trade ideas, the elephant in the room is ignored. As a practical cap matter, Dallas virtually cannot trade Prescott and also go about the business of roster building. Mike McCarthy bailed on Dallas Cowboys because Jerry Jones wanted him to mentor a head coach in waiting, report. Head coach Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys officially parted ways earlier this week after the two sides failed to agree to a new contract. According to reports, Jerry Jones' succession plans may have been a factor in the failure to reach an agreement. According to a report from NFL insider Jane Slater, Jerry Jones, who she says has gone on a solo mission to hire the team's next head coach, pitched Mike McCarthy on having former Dallas Cowboys tight end Jason Witten installed as the team's head coach in waiting under McCarthy. As Slater puts it, it was that suggestion that ultimately halted the discussions between the two sides. It's my understanding that Jerry has talked to Jason Witten in recent weeks, and I do believe he was part of the plan Jerry initially had when he was going to bring back Mike McCarthy, Slater reported during a hit on NFL Network. I think the plan there was to make him an heir apparent of sorts. Mike McCarthy sort of surprised him when he decided he wanted to end these conversations. Slater also detailed the reported interest that Jones has in University of Colorado head coach Deion Sanders, with the two sides reportedly discussing the open gig earlier this week. I think the interest from Jerry is absolutely real. I guess the question is, does Deion want to come here? The reason why I ask that is talking to a lot of people who are close to that program is the autonomy Deion enjoys there. Not to mention the staff. He has a very large staff there, and as one person put to me today, is Jerry going to allow him to bring in all of those? Mike McCarthy was asked to reduce his staff, and Jerry is not really high on paying his coaches here. In his 5 seasons as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, McCarthy posted a record of 49-35, led the team to 3 playoff appearances, 2 NFC East division titles, and 1 playoff win. Deion Sanders as Cowboys head coach would be wild. But it could work. It didn't take long for Jerry Jones to turn the Dallas Cowboys head coach search into a circus. Perhaps that's just how he likes it. In the middle of the NFL playoffs, with the Cowboys long out of the postseason picture, up pops Jones to push his team back to the top of the news agenda. The Cowboys moved on from coach Mike McCarthy after the two sides failed to agree to a long-term contract extension they spent a month trying to hash out. That leaves Jones looking for his 7th head coach since the Cowboys last won a Super Bowl, 29 years ago. Enter Deion Sanders. Hours after the Cowboys let McCarthy go, ESPN reported that Jones had reached out to Sanders, the Hall of Fame player turned college football's most electrifying personality. A realistic option? A pipe dream? A sideshow? Who knows? But the idea of Sanders leaving college football to take a crack at the NFL is tantalizing. To hear from Jerry Jones is truly delightful, and it's intriguing, Sanders told ESPN on Monday. I love Jerry and believe in Jerry. After you hang up, and process it, and think about it, it's intriguing. But I love Boulder and everything there is about our team, the coaches, our student body, and the community. Related, the world's most valuable sports team hasn't won a thing in decades. How? Sanders has no reason to leave Colorado. He has the Buffs rolling, and finished his second season 9-4, with a Heisman Trophy winner and one of the top recruiting classes in the country on its way for next season. But read between the lines, and the statement starts to read something like this: I want the job, but I don't want to be left at the altar if the Cowboys turn elsewhere. Picking Sanders makes some sense. He is a Cowboys legend, having played 5 seasons with the franchise and won 1 Super Bowl. He is also a football genius and a master marketer, proving his coaching chops as a coach at the collegiate level. At Jackson State, he turned a dilapidated program into a contender, attracting the number 1 overall recruit in the country, Travis Hunter, to an HBCU. At Colorado, he has turned one of the most moribund football programs in a power conference into a conference championship contender in 2 seasons. It's no wonder, then, that Sanders is on Jones's mind. He is part of the Cowboys family, and if we know anything about Jones, it's that he views the Cowboys not as America's team but as the Jones family enterprise. Still, targeting a coach with no NFL coaching experience is a stretch for a team with playoff ambitions. The history of college coaches making the jump is shaky at best. It's also not the way Jones has operated. For all the stardust of the Cowboys, he's spent the latter stages of his tenure hiring steady hands with little pizzazz. Making a big splash for Sanders would break that mold. Whether Sanders is genuinely interested in the job is more intriguing. The only way I would consider coaching in the NFL is to coach my sons, Sanders told Good Morning America this month. Sanders has never coached a season of football without his youngest son, Shadur, as his quarterback. Together, they have put up a 33-14 record, with half of those losses coming in the first year of their Colorado rebuild. Sanders will probably be a first-round pick in the upcoming draft, and could be the first quarterback off the board. Shiloh Sanders, a safety at Colorado and Deion's eldest son, is a fringe draft prospect. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Deion Sanders? Leave your opinion in the comments.